Hello, and welcome to my podcast, I Survive La Chancla, hosted by yours truly, Carmela. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having a great week and has not had to choke any hoes this week. You know how that shit can be draining. So, welcome to episode 3 of I Survive La Chancla. Thank you for listening to my episode. I really appreciate it. Just a few reminders. I will be dropping an episode every Friday. So be on the lookout for that every Friday on Amazon, Spotify, and soon it will be Apple and YouTube. I'm currently working on that now. It's a one-man show, so I gotta do everything. So it's a little bit time. Again, you can reach me at Chancla Survivor on Facebook, Chancla Survivor on Facebook, CHANCLA Survivor on Facebook. Leave me a message. You can drop me some feedback on the show. If there's something you can relate to, feel free to drop by and leave me a message or something. Also, you can send your nosy neighbor stories. You can send them there, and I'll read them on the show. So if you have a story about an interaction with a crazy ass neighbor, or just a crazy ass neighbor, period, feel free to send it in, and I will play it. I will put it on the show. So this heat is disappearing. I am really grateful that it's not that hot no more. Because god dang, it was too hot. Okay. At the end of my show, I will have a segment that's called Nosy Neighbor. Hi, I'm your nosy neighbor, where I will share a story about one of my neighbors. I have plenty of them. So stay tuned to the end so you can hear the story for this week. Oh my god. So yeah, just check that out. Have you ever thought, or have you ever noticed that the parenting has changed since back in the day, maybe like our parents? It is so different that it still baffles me. There are times when I will tell my kids to do something and they are literally giving me feedback. They are literally telling me they don't want to do it. They'll do it, but they're letting me know that they don't like it. Okay, I would have never in a million years would have thought to say something like that to my mom. No, just didn't happen. We did not say shit like that. But these kids do. They're a different breed. How I was brought up with all this, freedom to roam the neighborhood and, play hide and seek and play, whatever games we were playing that day. It was the whole neighborhood. Like, we would go outside in the morning and all day. The only time you came in was to eat, because grandma had a manguera, so we drank from there. And it was cool because it was like a tight, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like a tight knit of my cousins, that we all used to hang out and play and stuff. So now, not only because family members don't speak to each other, but these kids are not able to experience the same thing that I did. And that kind of hurts me. It really does, because I would want them to experience, having cousins and all that stuff, because I grew up with that. But unfortunately, it wasn't like that for them. And then it's like my kids, they don't have grandparents, so they've never experienced the grandparent. They had my mom for a little bit, but they didn't get the little ones. They don't get to experience grandma and grandpa, and just they don't get to experience it. I mean, I did. I grew up with my grandma, and you know what I'm saying. I saw her every day. I was at her house all the time. I'd go eat, whatever. That was my grandma. Do you remember when they would let you out to play and you had to come home when the streetlights came on? That was like a community notice when the lights came on. It's like kids would scatter like roaches and they were gone. They were gone inside because everybody knew you headed home once them lights came on. And it was just a rule that everybody knew. And most of us obeyed it. There were some, I'm pretty sure did not. But most of us obeyed it, even though we didn't like it. My summers consisted of being outside, riding my scooter, riding my bike, going to the park, all without adult supervision. No adult supervision. My mom could not see me from her window. She could not see me, through the door. By the door. I was gone, like out of sight. And there wasn't so much fear in people, I guess, like fear of letting your kid go outside and play. Because now, if I send my kid out there to go play, I'm like, you need to be where I can see you or I can hear you. That's pretty close. I can't let my kid go like, hey, go the neighborhood and ride your bike. Well, not. There's so many things that could happen. It could have happened back then too. I think now people are more ballsy. They're more ballsy. They will kidnap kids during the day. There's online predators. There's just different ways now. It's not like physically getting the person or the kid or whatever. It's crazy. Like with the school shooters, we never heard of a school shooter when we went to school. Did not, because this shit didn't happen. Because if you were having thoughts of doing some stupid ass shit, man, that chancla would have got your ass real motherfucking quick if somebody would have got whiff of what, somebody had planned. We didn't worry about school shooting. We had drills for tornado. And what was the other one? Tornado and fire drill? Oh, fire. The fire drill. That's all we had. Those two drills. Periodically, they would, the bells would go blazing and we had to leave the building or we had to get under our desk, whatever, whichever one it was that day. Yeah, it's not the same anymore. And with it being not only the times changing, but like I said, people are getting more ballsy and they're doing shit out in the open. And we just have to hope that we did right raising our kids. I mean, we kind of fucked around and found out, right? On that one, they didn't come with instructions, and neither did I. So I'm pretty sure I drove my mom fucking crazy, man. They literally used to call me and my brother Children of the Corn. That's a whole group. We were only two. Like, damn, we were some badass kids. I don't know. It's just like when they used to let us go on our bike, Now they're saying that builds resilience. For resilient, it builds character. Man, we're lucky we knew where the fuck we were going. Because, like, now how the cities are, the towns are, there's just no way. There's just no way I can let my kid go to the store on this bike. Well, not, because you gotta cross a highway or under a bridge. There's just no way. There's just no fucking way. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, there's been times that I would tell my kid to do something, and they will come and do it the lazy ass way. Just do it real quick and be gone. And then what happens? I gotta come back and I gotta be like, hey, can you do this again? Because, you didn't do it or whatever, I hate picking up messes. There's one solution. Don't make it. Because you are literally picking up your mess. You're not picking up my mess. You're not picking up anybody else's mess but your own. So if you don't like it, then don't do it. Simple problem with the solution. Don't do it. Don't fucking leave your shoes on the floor if you don't want to pick them up later. Put them in the right spot the first time. That way you don't have to come back. Because, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying this wrong, but you're going to get it. El huevón siempre le toca el trabajo dos veces or something like that. Meaning that if you do it the lazy way, you're going to have to come back and do it again. So, in other words, you might as well do it right the first time to save you some time. But of course, as kids, we don't see that shit. We're like, man, whatever. I was trying to do it fast so I can get out of here faster. Obviously, that didn't work. So we got to come up with another one. And I would have never liked to tell my mom, like, I don't want to do this. Or I think one time she sent me to do the dishes. And I asked her, I was like, why can't you do it? Like, I mean, why can't you do the dishes? Man, my mom got up real quick and said, because I told you to do it. That's why. I'm like, dang, you're so mean. Like, God, you can just tell me whatever you want me to do. Like, I'm not your slave. Oh, because my mom, according to my head, my mom had me and my brother because she wanted slaves. She wanted slaves to clean her house and to do her chores. So in my mind, that was my mom. Most of the time, my mom would do it just because it would get done right the first time. Unless she felt like, fucking woman, come on, do this, come do this, or whatever. I hated it when she called my name. Oh my God, Carmen! And I'm like, yes, Mom. Can you give me a cup of ice water? Yes, Mother. So I'd go get her a cup of ice, water, come back, give it to her. Can you turn on this cigarette for me? Yes, Mother, I can. At 10 years old, I can turn on the cigarette for you. So I'd go to the stove, put it on there, turn it on, take a couple heats, and then I'd give the cigarette back to my mom. She would be like, oh, it's kind of smart. Well, Mom, I mean, I don't know how to turn on cigarettes. So stuff like that. If I were to tell my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it wouldn't be right today. And it's like, the smoking in the cars. They smoked in the cars back in the day. They had ashtrays in the cars. They had lighters. You'd push a little button. Boop, push that bitch in. And then it would pop out whenever it was hot. And you grabbed it and you put your cigarette on it and it would turn on. It would turn on. It is like the times have made this a whole different experience with things changing. It's just crazy. I am so tripped out. I just hope that the morals and the values that we instilled in our kids, stay with them for when they get older. Because half the shit that we told them, they don't believe us. They do not believe us until they see it happen in front of their eyes. Then, and only then, are they going to be like, God damn, my mom was right. 90% of the time, my mom was right. 90% of the time. So I would just be like, Mom, you don't really know what you're talking about. Or you don't really know, Mom. Like, you think you know everything. She does know everything. She knew when I would skip school, even when the school did not call her. Like, how the hell did you know? She'd be asking me, so how was school today? I'm like, it was good. So what did you learn? On that second question, I'm like, what the hell does she know? She knows something because she's crying. And I'm like, Mom, it was fine, okay? And then she would be all quiet. I'm like, God, she knows. She was like, so when are you going to tell me that you skipped today? Like, I didn't skip. I don't know what you're talking about. I went to school on the bus. Like, I went. I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, no, you didn't. I stayed at my cousin's house, cleaning his house, and he paid me in roaches. The whole experience of living with so much freedom as a kid, it also made me realize that there is bad, that there are bad people out there. And it's just like whenever you associate a bad memory with a good memory, you don't want to like think about that good memory. All you can think about is a bad memory. But it's your childhood. Like you want to remember your childhood. You want to remember some of the experience that you experienced. But you can't when it's tied to a bad memory. You know, a bad situation, a bad experience. And so you don't want to like really think about it because you don't want to think about it. But you want to be able to like talk about your, or you know, just about your childhood, but you can't without that coming up. That's what I'm working on right now because I have so many badass childhood memories, but also the bad shit that happened kind of overtakes it, and I've let it overtake me, I guess. And so now is when I'm gonna make these changes because you know I'm not perfect by any means. I'm not trying to play perfect at all. I do believe that I have made mistakes in the parenting department. I can only go from here forward. I can't go back and change the past. I know I did some fucked up shit. You know, I wasn't in my right mind. I was in a bad place, you know, so I made poor choices. I didn't have my priorities straight. And so now that I do the parenting, it's so I guess the new gentle parenting. I don't like to say it like that, but like bubble parenting, or is it bubble kid or whatever? Like now it's all about feelings. How do you feel? How are your feelings should be validated? You know, are your needs met? When the fuck did they ever ask us that? Nobody ever asked me, are your needs being met? Did not. Didn't give shit. But it was, you know, I believe that a lot of the arguments that I had with my mom about going to bed could have been easily resolved if I would have known now. If I would have known back then what I know now about Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Jason. When I would watch their movies, I was scared shit. I thought Freddy Krueger was under the fucking couch, under my bed. I thought he was in my room, in my closet. Jason was there with him too, like in my mind. Jason scared the shit out of me. So did Freddy Krueger. So when my mom would make me go to bed, she would make me go to bed and she would say, go to the room and lay down now. She had the door closed and the light off. And I would go in there and I was just laying down and there was like a sheet like dividing the room. And I remember I looked over there and I saw Freddy Krueger. I saw fucking Freddy Krueger on my brother's bed laying like he was gonna get my ass. Like Freddy Krueger was there. I saw him. So yeah, I went back out and I told my mom, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep in there because Freddy Krueger's in there and we're just not. And she was like, go lay down now. And I would go back to the room like, oh my God, she is such a horrible mother. She's making me go sleep with Freddy Krueger. Like I saw him on the bed. She was the worst mother ever. Like in my mind, she could have never done anything worse. So she made me go to sleep in the room with Freddy Krueger. And I cried my ass to sleep. I think she might have whooped my ass too one time because I kept going out there. And her famous saying is, ¿Quieres dormir calentita? Oh, you want to sleep? Oh, okay. You want to go to sleep calentita? Come here, mijita. And whoop my ass to the point where I was like, you remember those cries? You can't even catch your breath. I remember those. Anyway, so yeah, I would end up having to go to bed in the room with Freddy Krueger. How dare she? If I would have known then what I know now, that whole ordeal did not have to happen. I did not have to get my ass beat. I did not have to, cry up a storm because Freddy Krueger was there. But I did anyway. And Chucky, olvídate, man. I would not go to the fucking restroom without, like, all the lights in the house on. On my way to the restroom, every single light would be on. I was a chicken shit, man. I was chicken shit. Fucking chicken shit. I was scared of everything. I was scared of my own fucking shadow. Literally, my own shadow. So I see my kids, their interests are different, obviously, than mine were as a kid because they have internet and all that shit. We didn't have no fucking internet. We had those highlight magazines. Remember the highlight ones? The ones you find the missing picture and, those shits, they were like $1.18 for 40 times that they were going to send it to you. Tell me you didn't have that highlight. I know you did. We still at the doctor's office. Doing it later. Like, okay, I've noticed now you hear more about it. It's probably because there's more platforms for the news other than the 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock news. But you hear about these parents like really harming these kids, doing crazy shit, putting them in the oven, burning them, starving them to death. It's like if you don't want them, give them to somebody who will, so who does. Because I guarantee you there's people out there that cannot have babies that would easily take a kid in. I mean, it's so sad that a kid has to pasar por eso, It's sad. Just because the parent, the parenting is like, it's not solid like it used to be. You got these babies that are having babies. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even have a job. Some of them are not even with their significant others. They're starting out as a single mom already. Not saying there's nothing wrong with the single mom. That's me all the way. But it's gonna be hard. It's not easy, because you're taking on two jobs. So it's just like we grew up different, and so everything is different. It's so different. I'm still tripped out. The people leaving their kids alone in their house. I saw a video the other day. It was like a 1-year-old and like a 3-year-old, and they were screaming. Somebody heard them. They were walking by, and the kid was inside, and it looked like they were moving, and they just left the kids there. That was so crazy. I just don't understand it, how people can hurt kids, It's like if you don't want to be a parent, then do something about it, Protect yourself. I became a mom at a young age. I was 18. And even then, I could tell you that I was too young. Too young. Because I didn't have no foundation. And on top of that, I had like childhood trauma that wasn't like resolved or taken care of. So I had that on top of that. And so it didn't turn out too well. It took me down dark roads. And, I believe that my choices made me a bad mom. I've apologized to my kids. I've done everything I can to make it right. I don't agree with the choices that I made back then. I don't agree with them. I am one that would take my responsibility. I would take, hey, I fucked up, okay, whatever, and I will talk to the people that it pertains to. Being a mom is not the easiest job in the world. Not anybody can do it. Or being a mom or a dad. It's easy, especially the single one. Because when you have a partner, it's so easy. Because if you can't do something, they can do it. You bring them in, you make a plan or whatever, And I believe that it's easier, smoother, and just easier when there's somebody else. My mom did the best that she could with what she had. She tried to give us stuff, whatever she could. My mother struggled a lot, so her parenting was kind of physical parenting was kind of limited. She still whooped my ass though with the chancla, but because of her weight, she wasn't able to chase me down. So she'd have my brother go chase me down, and she would tell him, "If you don't whoop her ass, I'm gonna whoop your ass." So my brother would chase me down or whatever, and then he would be like, "Just act like you're crying, act like you're crying." So I'd be like, just so he didn't, so he wouldn't hit me. He would just say, "Act like you're crying." She wouldn't go too much to schools. Or like when I was in soccer, she wouldn't really, because she didn't like to be around people. So I grew up with not having a parent-teacher conference, school events, and I'm starting to notice that's me. I hate going to the school. I hate going to the school for whatever fucking reason. It's like you have a kid, say in first grade, and they're gonna have first, second, and third grade sing different times. First goes first, second, and then third. So, mind you, I only have a first grader. I don't have a second grader or a third grader. So why do I have to stay till the end, till the other two grades play? I don't get it. Like I have to sit there and watch other kids that I don't know sing a song or whatever, do a play. Why? I don't want. I have shit to do. Like I have shit to do. That time I had actually we had a game. We had a game after it. I was the coach, so I went and got my kid. I told the teacher that was in the hallway. It's like, hey, I need to get my kid. He's in first grade. He just finished. I was like, we need to go. She was like, no, ma'am, you can't take him. I was like, okay, I got a team and it's waiting for me, like literally waiting for me so we can start the game. And if I'm not able to take my son right now, I said, y'all gonna have to find a ride. Y'all gonna have to find a way to take him home because I am a coach. I also have another responsibility, not just a mom. So she got all mad. She got all mad and then they brought the principal. And I explained to the principal, I was like, hey, I have a soccer game that we have to go to. Like, I can't stay. I wish I could, but I can't. And I know I'm probably one of those caring parents. I don't care give shit. I just don't want to watch other kids perform. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I don't care. I mean, I'll go watch my kid. Don't get me wrong, root him and everything, but I don't even know anybody in those other grades. So, yeah, I wasn't too crazy about that, but, um, so, moral of the story is I was brought up on some different shit. I was built different. I was made different. So how I wanted my parenting techniques to get from my mom to go on to my kids. There's some things that I still that my mom would do and that I have carried on, but then there's some other stuff that I wouldn't. For example, oh my god, like hitting with the chancla. I really, man, I've used the chancla when I had to use it. And it's to get their attention, and they stopped doing what they were doing. So I do believe it's an effective form of punishment. And according to the internet, Mexicans, we tend to stick to a parenting style. Yeah, tend to stick to a certain parenting style. It's more like tough love. Like, yeah, tough love. Like, you're gonna learn today. Like, jump off that couch, and if you fall, bet you won't get up there no more. That type of shit. Didn't even think about, hey, this kid could hurt his, what I'm saying, could break a bone jumping or nothing. No. Do it again, see what happens. Do it again, see what happens. And we learned. You learn from that shit. You fell first time, you ain't coming back. You ain't coming back to do it. But it was that type of parenting that made me who I guess not made me who I am, but that made me realize that okay, something that needs to be changed at this moment, because I love the way I grew up. No phones, there's no pictures of me fucking doing my dumb shit, none of that shit. No videos, no nada. All we had was those damn voicemails that I don't know how we got, but we would get in there and put your code in there, and then we'd be leaving messages. Hey, this is so and so. Drop me your digits. I'll call you back whenever I get, or whenever I get, I don't know. And then you have the other ones. They're like, hello? Hello? I can't hear you. Hello? I can't hear you. And then the pendeja on the phone. Hello? 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 You can't hear me? Yeah, we used to do that kind of shit. So whenever you gave out your phone number, you gave out this voicemail number. Actually, that's how I met one of my baby daddies. I wouldn't suggest that. I don't even think they exist anymore. Well, well, well. So now we know that parenting is not the same, and we had to handle it as such. Good luck with yours. And that's the end of my episode. Now it's time for Nosy Neighbor. My story for my nosy neighbor is going to be short and sweet. I ended up helping a neighbor that was fighting with his wife, and I knew the wife and the husband. Well, one night when I was laying down on my couch, all I heard was boom, 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 boom. I go to the door and it's the guy, and he was like, "Hey, I just got into it with my wife. Can I come in and just try to find a ride? Get my shit to get my thoughts together." And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." So he went in. He was in there. I went back on the couch and I laid down. 5 minutes later, here comes the fucking police department. Boom, boom, boom. Open the door. Open the door. I was like, no. And then he was like, you don't have to open the door. You don't have to open the door. And the cops were like, open the door. We're going to have the manager, come with the key or whatever. And I was like, that scared me. So I was like, no, I have to answer the door. But when I opened the door, they grabbed me and pulled me out. And they took me downstairs and left me right there. And then they went into my house, guns drawn, everything. I was there by myself. Guns drawn and everything. I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, did he have a gun? Where's the gun? And I'm like, there's no gun. I didn't see any gun. And he was like, did he force himself into your house? Did he show you a gun when he was coming in? I was like, no. I didn't see a gun. There was no gun. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, they ransacked my house looking for that fucking gun, and there was no gun. There was not a gun. Well, the wife lied about it, and so that's why they came in over here at my house. Well, they ended up taking me to jail for fucking tollway tickets. For helping out a fucking neighbor, I went to jail for tollway tickets. It fucking sucked. So they took me and him to jail. I'm not sure why they took him, but they took both of us to jail. I hear him in the jail, like he's over there in the own cell, and he's like yelling, "Crazy motherfuckers, y'all didn't have no right to do that." And all this. It's like they're gonna bury this fool under the jail. He wouldn't shut the hell up. Well, I had to be transferred to a different county because the tollway tickets were in a different county. So I got sent over there. And then it took like a day for people to realize that I was not around. And then, so they tried to get me out of jail, and they were like, "She's fixing to get out in a couple hours. Just like, don't even spend your money." So those 2 days that I sat in jail took care of my tollway tickets. But yeah, so by helping somebody, I put myself in a situation that caused me to go to jail for someone else's bullshit. Well, the tollway was my shit, but still, I wasn't ready to pay. But I had to pay. So, yeah, moral of the story is be careful who you help because in the middle of helping them, you can easily get yourself fucked, just like I did. So, that is a story of my nosy neighbor. I am the nosy neighbor. Nosy neighbor. Don't forget, you can send in a story if you have an interaction with a nosy neighbor. Feel free to send it in, and I will definitely put it on the show. So, thank you for staying to the end. I really appreciate it. Again, this was episode 3 of I Survived La Chancla. Don't forget, you can hit me up on Facebook, Chancla Survivor, on Facebook. Leave me a comment, some feedback. Let me know what you thought about the show. Anything you can relate to. Feel free to drop me something. Or just let me know where you're from. So this is the end. So again, like I said, muchos thank yous. Have a good week and be good. Te bañas, te tallas y te tomas el agua. Peace.